How's it going, everyone? We've got a ton of updates to go over in this video. Palworld has hit yet another major milestone. I know this channel has mostly revolved around Helldivers recently, but Palworld was a juggernaut of a release recently, and it exceeded Helldivers 2's numbers. But, you know, Divers 2 doing great, Palworld doing great, they can coexist, and Palworld has hit another huge milestone as far as concurrent players, and I'll give some input on why I think a PlayStation version is now pretty likely. Some people were pushing back on the idea, thinking that Microsoft had some sort of exclusivity agreement. I don't think that's the case. We'll talk about that. Speaking of PlayStation, Rise of the Ronin, the upcoming PS5 exclusive, gets a World Vignette trailer. We'll talk about that. And Unicorn Overlord, one of the more underrated upcoming JRPGs, will be getting a demo available soon. We'll talk that in just a little bit. Now, before we get into this video, I just want to ask you guys, please like this video and do leave a comment with your thoughts. It really does help out the channel a lot, and it is much appreciated. But first of all, Palworld Early Access has topped 15 million sales on Steam, 10 million players on Xbox. The Early Access release of open world survival crafting game Palworld has sold approximately 15 million copies on Steam, and the Xbox Series and Xbox One versions have reached over 10 million players, Pocket Pair has officially announced. Currently, the game is sitting at a very positive reception on Steam, just shy of the fabled overwhelmingly positive. Overwhelmingly positive would be a great milestone for the game to hit, but it's just shy of that right now at 94% positive across 227,000 user reviews. Now, a lot of discussion around Palworld right now that the game is dying. Currently, the game has 275,000 concurrent players. If that's what we are classifying as games dying right now, sign me up to be a game developer, because I would want to create a lot of dying games. Guys, 275,000 is an incredibly successful number. That 2 million mark that the game hit was never going to be sustainable. We had talked about that ad nauseum, but I get it that this concurrent player count gimmick, or not even a gimmick, but just following the concurrent player count, it's fascinating to follow, and I've been following concurrent player accounts for years and years, and we've been covering them for a while, but obviously a lot more people have started to take notice of that to gauge the success level of a game, and it's very easy with headlines. I'm sure there are headlines out there, oh, Palworld has lost 80% of its player base. Guys, it's an early access game that isn't getting content updates right now. It's been out for around a month at this point. Yeah, it came out January 19th, so a little over a month. This is how the game is played. A lot of people probably played the game, got their money's worth. I mean, most people have played hours upon hours of the game and, you know, gotten their $27 worth. And to still be at 275,000 players, guys, that's a super successful number. Do not, you know, take that as a slight at all. Games would kill to stabilize at 200,000 players. Games would kill to stabilize at 50 to 100,000 players in a lot of instances. And Palworld is a game that's still in early access. While the fundamentals are in place and the game can develop into something great, it already is something great, to be fair, but that's the imperative. It's an early access title. It's gonna get content updates probably for the next year plus, and the vision and the overall idea of what Palworld can become, much like Helldivers 2, has probably expanded greatly given the success level of the game. Given the success level of the game, I also imagine that this game is going to be coming to PlayStation 5 in the near future. When I say near future, I'm hoping by the end of the year. What I'm saying is I don't think Microsoft or Xbox has any sort of exclusivity agreement when it comes to this game, especially because Microsoft and Xbox themselves are bringing over their own first-party titles to PlayStation in terms of Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, what do you have? Grounded, as well as Sea of Thieves. All of those games are coming to PlayStation 5, so are you telling me that they signed some sort of exclusivity deal with Palworld? Highly doubt it. They signed a deal to get it on Game Pass, and the Game Pass version lags behind the PC version, which, you know, for an early access game, that's not really that big of a deal. A lot of the issues with the game I let slide because it's in early access, and the foundational aspects of the game, which is what you want in place with Palworld, are incredibly strong. I know at this point they're working on things like the servers having cheaters and things like that. Yeah, all those issues you want to iron out, but hopefully the game continues to be a success. And I know there's people, I saw threads on the Steam community page, which the Steam community page sometimes can be as bad as Twitter in terms of what people say. Oh, Palworld's dying, Palworld's at the end of life, etc., etc. It's never gonna get out of early access, guys. It's been, what, a month of the game being out? It's still at 200,000 players. I get it that people don't follow it as closely as some of us have been for the last few years with concurrent player counts and things like that, but you know, it's up and down when it comes to player counts, and we all know that for the majority of games, the peak comes within the first, you know, few weeks, even 72 hours of the game being out. But nonetheless, we'll keep you guys on tune and updated with that. Moving on from that, Rise of the Ronin has gotten a very big update for the open world action adventure game, the World Vignette trailer, giving us an insight of the world and the era that Rise of the Ronin does cover. This game, to me, is going a little under the radar. Am I crazy in saying that? This is a big budget title, an open world action title from a great studio in Team Ninja, and I think there's a myriad of things that are causing it to go under the radar. Potentially the same release day as Dragon's Dogma 2. I just think most people are going to be more excited about Dogma 2, but there's definitely people out there that are super hyped for Rise of the Ronin as well. I think the game looks great. I think from an action combat standpoint, it looks great. The exploration looks great. Visuals look solid. It just looks like a really, really well-refined game and a solid exclusive for PlayStation 5. I'm sure it'll come to PC at some point, but for the time being, as a PlayStation 5 title, I think it's going to do fairly well. $70 being released on the same day as Capcom's first $70 title in Dogma 2. I think people are just going to be a little bit selective with what they pick up. Two $70 games on the same day. That's just gonna be a hard ask, and I don't think Ronin or Dogma 2, neither of those games strike me as games like an Immortals of Aveum or a Forspoken where I'm like, yeah, this game is no mas at $70. It's just past at $70. Maybe it would have done well at a cheaper price point, but in the case of Ronin and Dogma 2, those games are gonna be content plentiful. They look like well-refined games, and I think they're gonna be worth $70. I just think for the general population, spending $70 on two games, $70 each, is just gonna be a tall order and a tall ask, but nonetheless, trailer looks great, and the World Vignette trailer, go check that out for yourself. Lastly, I do want to note, Unicorn Overlord, the upcoming JRPG from One Vanillaware, a studio that I talk up constantly on this channel, has gotten a free demo that's available right now for the Nintendo Switch, and that demo is dropping on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PlayStation 4 on February the 23rd. The save data from the demo is going to carry over onto the full game. This was announced as a part of Nintendo's partner direct, and the game looks great, man. This is one that also feel like it's going under the radar, coming out, you know, just a little bit after Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I think is gonna hurt, but what can you do? This is the world that we live in, where there's constantly a lot of big games coming out, and we'll see how Unicorn Overlord does, but Vanillaware is a great studio. Their games never get a ton of buzz, but you look at Muramasa, Odin Sphere, 13 Sentinels. 13 Sentinels was just tremendous. I wasn't crazy about Dragon's Crown as much as some of the other titles, but that was a fairly good game as well, and this looks like a solid, well-made tactical JRPG. Demo available now on Switch, and it will be coming to PlayStation 4 and 5 tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. This is a game that I imagine some people are going to skip on. If you're juggling Divers, FF7 Rebirth coming up, then mid-March, or the end of March, you got Dogma 2 and Rise of the Ronin. Man, it's just a lot of games to be juggling right now, and like I said, Q1 of 2024, just absolutely insane. And throw in the Star Wars Battlefront collection in there as well. I know a little bit of controversy attached to that game right now, but man, it is just going to be a wild couple of months. And then going into June, you got SMT5 Vengeance as well as Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree on the same day. What are we doing, man? What are these games? They're coming out on the same day. I just don't know how anybody's gonna be juggling all this stuff. Hopefully, you know, July will be a little bit of a lull and we can catch up on a lot of the big titles coming out, and the backlog battle will never actually cease to end. It'll just exponentially grow year after year. But that'll do it for me. Again, Palworld hits another major milestone with 15 million sales on Steam. Potential PS5 release, I think, will be happening. Rise of the Ronin gets a brand new trailer. The World Vignette trailer looks great, and Unicorn Overlord, a cool upcoming JRPG, getting a demo tomorrow, free demo. Save data will carry over into the full game. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, thank you for watching. Sound off with your thoughts down below, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.